Is it?
All right, let me buy the freaking yogurt. Are your thoughts even yours? Well, I think we covered that, but we can get into that again. So let me hit record. All right, looking forward to it.
Lovely.
Enjoy
Thank you so
yourself,
much,
Adrian.
everybody. And it's so lovely to see all the faces on screen this morning. I feel as though I have arrived late at the Hypno party, but I've arrived just as the floor fillers and the bangers have started. So I'm truly happy to be in this place, in this space, and at this time. And I just want to say hello to all my old friends, my new friends, and the friends that I have yet to meet. I'm the mum of two amazing humans who enlighten my life every day. I've got a fantastic husband who is exceptionally ill, but he's managed to join us on the call today. So, hi, David. Um,
Hi,
I
David.
have got two dogs, Delphi and Juno, two cats, Hazel and Ivy. So that's kind of me. I describe myself as a work in progress who is loving the process. So today I came at this because recently I have been feeling absolutely frazzled. And it just got me to do some thinking. I didn't think like this a couple of years ago. I'll probably not think like this in a couple of years' time. But right now, this is how I'm thinking. And I want to talk today about just all the demands, because I'm a working mum, a busy household, and all the demands that I now feel are put on me and challenge me. And I just want to say that this talk isn't just about making you feel calm, because you will feel calm. It's about taking ownership of your headspace. It's about freeing up that space for your own development, your own growth, and your own comfort every day. And think about all the things that we've got to do ourselves now that's new, and we didn't have to do that a while back. And it's almost as if, and I'll say it's almost as if because I don't know, but it's almost as if we're being engineered so that at the end of the day, we've got absolutely no capacity to review or look at other things. And this is just how I feel. And it also then leads me to think that, you know, all the tactics that may be getting used on us in 2021 life, and all the thinking that we've got to do day to day, thinking that used to be tasked to others, all the tasks that we have to do, and how much thinking is even our own anymore. Because are we really just a bunch of procrastinators? All the negative language that's put on us, it's us that's not good enough. Or are we just absolutely exhausted from decision overload? Are you cognitively fried? Is this creating the feeling of disconnection? All the young people who say they're disconnected, this disconnection epidemic, I find overwhelming. When I lie in bed at night, and even although I've fought the good fight and I've ticked the to-do list, and I still feel as though that I've just not accomplished enough. And I have to remind myself that I am enough. And I had a coffee with a good friend, Leanne, and we discussed different energies and how we feel and the energies that we use on a day-to-day basis. And the different energies that we feel when we live in hustle and we live in flow. And how many of us feel the energy of living in hustle, experiencing all the doing energies, always being busy, always that feeling of getting by with getting by, wherever getting by is getting us to. How often do we even get the chance to sit in our being energy? And Leanne talks to me about the energy of being and the energy of doing. And she often has to remind me that I'm a human being and I need to sit in being. And she points that out quite often. But I used to get to be being when I was standing in a supermarket queue with not a thought in my head, with my trolley, waiting for somebody to scan my shopping and pack it for me. But now I have to do all that. I'm the packer of the shopping. I'm the scanner of the shopping. I need to do it all. And don't even start me on when the annoying thing tells me that my birthday card or the milk, it's always my milk, is not on the scales. And I actually physically want to fall out with the computer. I can't just stand in a queue mindlessly anymore to deposit a cheque in the bank, but I have to do all that myself. I've also got to do all the meter readings myself, so you've got to be multi-skilled in all these different arenas. And I find myself getting cognitively fried. And then just to bring to mind a friend who's also in the call, Catherine, and she tells me how she feels bad saying no to people, walking out past Guide Dogs for the Blind and want to sign up, and how she feels bad about that. And it just reminds me of not just necessarily that, but how information is flying in at a faster rate. There's just more, not at a faster rate, but there's more and more and more of it. And how do we start to filter that out? Or another good friend, Hilary, who's signed up for that free thing and made the subscription, but now she feels bad because she's not going to take action on anything else. And she's got an inbox full of stuff that's causing her pressure to do it and respond and react. So it's thinking about all those things in the day-to-day that never used to be a thing in the day-to-day, and all the thoughts that this brings up, whether it's pleasure or protection. And maybe at the end of this talk, you'll go, Adrian, that's all just on you. That's just you that thinks these things. But according to the world population today of 7.9 billion, I'm kind of guessing that there's more people than just little old me that's feeling the effects of all of this. And I saw a question like, fill your boots with life. But how can you fill your boots for the day when somebody else has got half their foot in it? My daughter said something to me, and she said, as a person, Mum, as a human, I don't feel as though that I'm depressed. I feel as though I'm made to feel bad about myself. Everything around me, each small part, is having an effect. And honestly, as a mum, I felt my legs buckling under me when she said that. So what if, through all the 2021 noise, our subconscious knows and can see what's happening? And what if all their attempts to take up our bandwidth in our brain and our mind space are going noticed? And what if all of that is behind the increase in all the general anxiety disorders and this epidemic that our youth and ourselves are currently feeling? Because we're all a mind, and we're a big in a grey jelly in a shell, and that mind is embodied, and therefore our thoughts will have an impact on our body. And at a talk I was at recently with Joseph O'Connor, and he said that the mind and the heart and the gut have all similar transmitter responses. I'm paraphrasing this really badly. But the brain holds rank because it can control the mouth. And it really hurt me there that, the effects of everybody else's agenda on our time and our emotions. And people say, you've got to live in the now. But how do we achieve that? How do we actually achieve now? Because at the end of the day, that's all we can experience. And even the phrase, and I'm getting to my main point, by the way, even the phrase that somebody says, it's what you do next that matters, which is really true. But what if the thing that you do next isn't based on your suggestion? Maybe it's based on information that's coming in our 2021 digital world, where somebody else has got an agenda on your time, your thoughts, your emotions. And then that gets to me thinking things like, how many times have I read a motivational quote or phrase and it leaves me feeling totally demotivated? And it makes me still feel as though little old me is just not enough. And we're lucky because we've got the tools to sort this. But some people think this is really them. They don't have the tools that we have. So tonight we're going to capture some big energy. We're going to be human beings and not human doings. So now, in this hope of technology, I am going to share one of my screens, and I'm going to get you to watch this little video, I hope. Can you see this video? Can this video get seen? Like, let's see if it gets heard. Can you hear that?
We can see it. We can hear it.
You can see it and hear it. Cool, thank you. Now to stop the sharing. Okay, so this is tricky because my stop sharing thing has totally gone.
I think it's up the top of the screen.
Oh, there we go, because I've got the two screens. How does that make you feel? That for you, in a day, to get some me time, you've got to take a bag of fast food, turn your back on your family, and go to your room and eat in isolation? I know how that makes me feel. That they're actually saying for me time, I have to go and isolate myself with fast food. Okay, the next video. There we go. Share the screen. Here we go. Okay, so how does this one make us feel? They understand creating a peak state in our emotional state and giving us a powerful suggestion that eating really shit food is going to make us feel better when we're sharing time with friends, you know, when we're at our experiencing our highs and lows. You know, they understand the smartness of the stuff that we know about emotional peak state and giving that power of suggestion right at the back of that. And that's just a tiny example of what we are negotiating, whether consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, on a particular level. That's not my field, but I know that I kind of feel the effects of all of this. So in James Tripp's book, he quotes The Big Prometheus Rising by Robert Anton Wilson. I hope I've quoted that right. And he says that there's two faculties within our mind, which is the thinker and the prover. And he suggests that, you know, what the thinker thinks, the prover will prove, because we always like to prove that we're, you know, our mind likes to always prove that we're right. And then that takes me on to thinking about us as hypnotherapists, although I know that there's some people joined just now who aren't hypnotherapists. And that's why I've made a wider talk about this, because I'm going to be using a technique by Freddie, but using it, you know, just to address the overwhelm that our clients will be feeling, whether they're aware or not. So engage, and again, just I liked James's definition of hypnosis. Hypnosis, the engagement of beliefs and imagination via verbal and non-verbal communication to facilitate an altered subjective reality. And I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree with that, but then thinking about the peak state, etc., that was created within that, and then the verbal and non-verbal communications that's going on within that hypnotic language in that advert really hits home to me. And I watched a video with Anthony and Richard Bush, I think it's pronounced, and it says that as humans we live in a blur. And these days that we multitask are multitasking. And on hearing that, I just think of all the kids. That was part of a wider piece, but I immediately started thinking of all the children who can't relax, who feel as though they're disconnected, who can't switch off, who feel as though they're always on, and the very minute they're not on, they feel bored. Because if something can imagine, and what James goes on to say that if someone can imagine something with the help of the hypnotherapist, they're halfway to perceiving that as their new reality. But what if this really, really kind of frightens me? Because what if it's a case of if someone can imagine something with the help of the advertiser or big pharma or the big corporations, then are you halfway to perceiving their reality? And that causes me to feel afraid, because these big folk know about peak state and how to manipulate it. And there's big players out there suggesting peak states and embedding these suggestions all the time. And we're feeling the effects of it. Well, in my mind, I do. Okay, so this leads me all on to my conversation tonight, which is, let me buy the freaking yogurt. So as a human being, I can actually walk into a supermarket and I can select a product and I can buy the product and I can walk out a store without having any emotional processes within that. But I just feel as though sometimes that's not good enough for them. They still want to pique an emotional response within me. They want to interrupt me when I'm packing my shopping, and they want to get that emotion out of me that they can't get. Because my private time, I like to be quiet. I can do these things without having an emotional response. But like their scan rate or things like that they can measure, they can't measure how the experience is making me feel. I've got to tell them that. I've got to tell them something that they can't gauge because it's my internal processing. It's kind of just like with Facebook when we're hitting all the different icons and telling an algorithm what makes us feel what we feel when we feel it. And I honestly do have an expectation that when I go into a shop to buy a product, for example, when somebody says to me, "How was our service today?" I find that almost like a pattern interrupt. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just in to buy my freaking yogurt. When I go into a shop, my expectation is that I'm going to find all the produce. My expectation is that the queues are going to be reasonable, that I can swipe things through the scanner, that it will pick up my milk and my cards, and I can put everything into a poly bag and I can walk out of that shop without creating a state or a feeling. I can do all of that, but I just feel as though that's not good enough for them. So I'm always mindful of that now, that because internally I'm just screaming, just let me buy my freaking yogurt. I don't need to tell you my mental state within that. So hopefully you're following along with some of the thought processes that I go along, and they're not all too dissimilar to how you're feeling in a day-to-day. So moving on now, how do we use some of the processes that we have in our toolkit? So what I would like you to do right now is just close your eyes and place your hands over your heart or even over your solar plexus. It doesn't matter which. And if you've got any connection at all to anything that I've said, just feel into that just now. And ask your body if you've had any aha moments from anything that I've said, anything that you realise that isn't your thoughts, that could possibly be the thoughts and emotions that are getting triggered for somebody else's gain other than yourself. So just placing your hands on your chest or your heart or your solar plexus, and even if there's a slight chance that we're being socially engineered to make you feel bad about yourself, like my daughter was saying, even to the point that how many times do you find yourself eating something and you say, what am I even doing? I don't want that. So just feel into those feelings right now. Because at another time we can talk about mindless eating and the effect that TV is having on our waistband, the storytelling techniques that they use to use our peak state and drop in a suggestion. And let's create the space within us, our space, not theirs. Let's put down that big stick of procrastination that you've been beating yourself up about and using to beat yourself up. Because I promise you, you are good enough. You always have been good enough. And we need to take back the power, and we need to take back the ownership of our own space. So with your eyes closed, I just want you to go to your favourite place right now, wherever that is. That place where you usually feel calm and balance and no pressure. But wait a wee second here. This time it's absolutely covered in trash. Covered in trash. Look 360 degrees around you and see all those corporate logos dropped everywhere. All the suggestive language that your mind picks up. Gosh, even in Tesco the other day, it's like serving you better every day. What were you serving me badly yesterday? How do you measure that? All the labels that have ever been placed on you. All the actions by others that have made you feel less worthy. And see all that scattered around your favourite place like litter now. All the conversations where you've not been listened to because the person was off thinking their own stuff. They were in their own data stream and they weren't giving you the attention that you needed to listen to, that you wanted them to listen and hear what you had to say. All the times that you've deserved an apology or you should have said sorry. And I just want you to feel into this space. The space that's littered with everybody else's crap. And just feel into that low energy that's there with all that going on. All the stuff that's not yours. It's almost like somebody's come into your home and decorated it for you. It's not yours. And feel into that. And get a scale on that energy. Is it high energy, low energy? All the negative images, feelings, thoughts, emotions, sensations. And just feel into what's there that shouldn't be, that's not yours, that's there for somebody else's gain, somebody else's profit at your expense. And you can decide what it is you want to do with all that crap right now. So take a minute and I want you to do a mental clear up. I want you to clear up that space. Knowing that you're creating a space for you. Because I don't even believe that growth needs to be uncomfortable. To me, that's a hark back to growing pains when you were younger. It was physical pain. But mental growth can be so easy and painless. So clear out everything that doesn't serve you here in this place. Knowing that you're creating the space for you. Creating this space on a nightly basis, you can lie in your bed. You don't need to beat yourself up. Because you've got the space. You've got the time. It's your time, not theirs. And clear that space up just now. And just give you 1 minute just to do that now. Lovely. Taking it back. Witness, evidence, acknowledge the change in that vibration within that space. Nothing happens without evidencing, so evidence that change now. Your change. Change made by you for you now. And round this place, know that you can have a impermeable bullshit craps shield around that space. Because you can filter out what doesn't suit you, and we'll come on to that. We'll come on to Freddie's wonderful technique for that. Once we've cleared this space of their stuff. So your mind no longer looks like a campsite at the end of a festival. It's back to your space, your place. Rewinding it back before people started dumping stuff in there. And you can jump in and you can clear this at any time. It's yours, it's your space. You know that. The guys on this call know this. Because this, along with Freddie's, the Jacqueline blink and delete protocol, can be done lightly. And I can share that with you later. And what if true growth just happens in this space, this place that you've created, this space for you, where you can sit nightly, take the learnings of the day and integrate them in a way that suits you, not them. We can make these changes complicated if we want, but it doesn't need to be that complicated. We design grand plans and unrealistic timescales and we beat ourselves up about it, but remember that we're doing that within a almost limited space in our conscious day-to-day, but we're infinite. We're bigger than our height and width. Could it really be this simple to take back ownership of this space? To just let go at the second of every day. For a few seconds at the end of every day, let everything go that's there, that has been there for somebody else's benefit over yours. And just let it go. Take the learnings. Never let go of the mistakes because those are future wisdoms, but just to let go and to hit reset on a nightly basis. And I want you to hear yourself say to yourself right now, yes, it really can be this simple. Lovely, just a deep breath and opening up your eyes for everybody. Okay, so how are we all feeling? We're feeling as though we've taken back our space for now. Because what we're going to do now is we're just going to move into the next piece, and it's the 1 click, 2 clicks that Freddie, the Jacqueline 1 click, 2 clicks. And I'm a rubbish hypnotherapist because I can't snap my fingers. So I'm going to say snap, but I'm really going to clap because I can't snap. Okay, so Freddie calls it the 1 snap, 2 snap. So I'll just clap. So some are still sitting with their eyes closed. I'll get you to open up your eyes now. That's it. And as your eyes start to find that focus, just know that that space is clearing even more. Great, okay. Are we all ready to go and do some space travel? Yeah, good. Lovely, lovely big smiles. Good. Okay, so we're going to do the 1 click, 2 click. That's Freddie's protocol. I'm getting blinded by the sunshine. Okay. Hopefully you can still see me, but it doesn't matter. You're going to close your eyes in a second. All right. So you're sitting comfortably. Your feet are on the floor. You can listen to the sound of my voice as I will guide you. And I want you to just focus in on your breathing. And I want you to pretend or imagine that you're breathing in calmness and you're breathing out any tension. And as you continue to breathe like this, I want you to turn your focus inwards and focus on your body and notice where any tension may be, and feel that dissolving now with each breath. as thoughts come and go like wispy clouds on a breeze. And you know that you're not the storm. You are the sky. You are your own daily common denominator. In all that you do, you're not broken. You do not need fixed. You're truly amazing. In your mind, softly repeat the word relax 4 times. And as you repeat the word relax, begin to relax. Let every muscle relax. And as you do that, you become more aware of the ideas and the images that float into your mind automatically, and allow yourself to drift deeper and deeper into those feelings. Allow yourself to drift deeper and deeper, and imagine that it's happening all by itself as you listen to the sound of my voice. You have a sense of a wonderful state of being where everything becomes possible and everything becomes doable. Everything I say now is your reality. Everything, every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act on at a molecular, cellular level without hesitation. And just for a while, you'll see you as I see you. And you'll feel what I say, and you can hear what I say, and you believe what I say as you sit there in that wonderful, clear space. Because you are going to feel the most incredible feeling of liberation, because you're going to separate physically from your physical body, from that essence of you, that intangible part of the human body, the passenger, the observer, and that physical body is separate from your physical body. And you may be able to even see your body as it drifts away. How incredible is that? And you notice, as you drift away from your body, that the essence of who you are, that true part of you, is ageless. The essence of you is infinitive and infinite. As you drift further and further away, imagine you're drifting so far away from your body that you become completely unaware of your body. And imagine as you're drifting higher and higher, and it may be that you're already there. So just relax as the rest of us catch up with you. See yourself drifting up through the roof of your home. See the street that you live on, the town that you live on. See the United Kingdom, the northern or southern hemisphere drifting below you now, as you travel higher and higher now. And you look down onto the incredible planet. And imagine that planet now and how incredible it looks. The whites of the clouds and the mountain tops and the greens of the ocean, the blue of the sea, the greens of the forest. See the incredible blue planet in your mind's eye now, and notice and watch as your perspective shifts and changes. And you can think about the 7.9 billion people that live on that planet, of which you are one unique individual, with all the understanding. You need to be a whole being. You are the most incredible creation in the known universe. There's no one else like you. There never will be anyone else just like you. You are incredible. You are love. You are loved. You are loving. But you are also capable of receiving love. Notice how your perspective can change. Things that felt small, things now feel small. They used to feel big when you were down earth-sized. But they're just a small grain of sand in the eternal and infinite universe, to the point that you can't even probably notice it at all. There's no overwhelm. No one has any power over you. Things that seemed hard or difficult to do no longer have any power over you, because you are unique. This is your mind. And I want you to see a target now. And I want you to find the crescent of a moon, and I want you to sit on the edge of that moon and let your legs just dangle for a beat. Just sit there, let your legs dangle for a minute. Breathe into that space, lifting your energy, lifting the vibration, just being you, the I am. And in your mind's eye, you can see that target. In fact, you might physically see that target between you and the planet Earth, like an archery target. See the bands of the very centre of that target. See the centre of that target and place into the middle of that all the negative emotions that you've ever experienced. I want you to put into the centre of that target every experience that's caused hate, pain, anger, hurt, sadness, embarrassment, every negative emotion that you've experienced, all the thoughts of others that don't belong. Place them all in the centre of that target, because in a moment I'm going to make the sound swoosh. And as I make that sound, you'll be fired, shot like an arrow, straight through that target, straight out into the space on the other side, the neutral space. Because I want you to be brave. Because as you go through the centre of that target, you may experience one or more of those negative emotions even more intensely for a split millisecond. But be brave. This is the last time any of those negative emotions will ever have control over you. So get ready for the sound. It will be as if your mind and body have been wiped clean and clear of those negative emotions as you go into that emotionally neutral space. This is going to be intense. So get ready. Swoosh, and you're through and out to the other side, drifting in space, in a neutral space where nothing bothers you. Nothing disturbs you, nothing affects you. There's nothing here that isn't part of you. And it's a strange space to be in, that neutral emotion, as you drift in this space. Feel that feeling of neutral now. And in neutral, you can make the right decisions. You can take the right actions, and you can get the right outcomes for yourself. Feel into that neutral. Now as you drift. And I'm going to clap my hands in a moment. And as I clap my hands, the sound of me clapping my hands once will be the anchor for this feeling of neutral. And it will anchor this into your body forever. As you hear the sound of my clap once, that state of neutral is now anchored to the sound of my snap or clap. That's right. Whenever you need to access neutral, whenever you need to make a decision that's right for you, you'll be able to clap your hands or snap your fingers once, and you'll instantly enter this neutral space. From today, whenever you need to think clearly, when you need to access a neutral emotion, clap or snap your fingers once and you'll instantly go back into this incredible space of neutral, where you can make the right decisions and take the right action. You can make the right decisions and take the right actions for the right outcome and have control over your emotions. You can snap. You can clap and snap and switch off and into, switch off the emotions and into negative emotional state. You no longer have to experience the hate or anger or pain or sadness, regret or jealousy, because you can switch that off. You can clap into this neutral space. You can make the right decision. And as you drift in that space, imagine once again that you're drifting further and further, higher than you did before. You may even hear some music. I want you to think what you can hear. If there's anything as you drift up there in the music in your mind, let that lift you like a helium balloon higher and higher, and hear the beautiful sound in your mind as you drift away again from the planet. Look down once again at that beautiful planet, knowing that we're not disconnected beings. If we were to give everything away that someone else had had a hand in making, we would be left with nothing. You've never felt so connected. As you look down again, notice what's changed. Evidence what's different. Experience that incredible feeling of freedom once again as you see that target in your mind's eye with the bands and see the centre. And at this centre is every positive emotion that you've ever felt. Pure love, kindness, passion, pleasure, joy, because we all need joy in our life, because joy supports our immune system. Every positive emotion that you've ever felt is in the centre of that target now, because in a moment I'm going to make that sound again. But be ready, because as you go through the target, your mind and body are going to be flooded. They're going to be flooded with the most intense feeling of love and pleasure, bliss, joy, happiness, passion. The most intense feelings that you've ever experienced as you're going to go through that target. But this time, there's no need to worry. Because you're going to drift into a space of total pure love, joy and bliss and balance. Get ready. And out to the other side and drifting into that space, feeling that feeling, those feelings flooding every fibre. Every fibre is lighting up within your body like light bulbs, all popping on, lifting you up. That's right. Thinking of that music as it floods your mind, you might get a colour, you might get a picture or a place where you've been with a loved one, or where you have felt love, or pleasure or passion. Thinking of that moment now. And let that flood your body now. Feel that power, that physical feeling. Feel the physicality of that pleasure, the joy, the happiness. Feel it now. And when I clap my hands, it's going to increase 10 times stronger. I'm going to clap my hands again and ramp it up 10 times stronger. And feel the power. Feel that power, that pleasure, that love, ramping it right up now. Ramp it up, knowing that you're an infinite being with no limits. That's right. And when you think you can't experience pleasure or love or joy or happiness any more than you currently are, it's going to ramp up 100 times more. From today, whenever you want to feel this feeling, all you need to do is snap or clap twice, and that feeling will grow within you. That feeling will be there, growing and growing and growing, 100 times stronger, 1,000 times stronger in your body. And when you feel that you need to feel this, know that by clapping your hands twice, you'll quickly ramp up all those positive emotions right here, because they're here for you, they're yours. You're creating it all. Think of all the fun that you can have with this. Think of all the decisions that you can make in neutral. You no longer have to suffer anger or hatred or sadness or jealousy. You can switch that off. You can clap once for neutral and twice to ramp up that love, just to ramp it all up. And feel the pleasure dancing in that moment, within that music, with that love, with that joy. And you can feel it growing stronger and stronger from today. All you need to do is clap twice or snap twice if you're lucky enough to be able to do that. How good is this? How good is it to feel this alive, free and alive? How lucky are you to be on this planet right now, at this time, with all of us together? How lucky are we that we've landed on this planet at this time? Of all the planets and all the universes, here we are. How lucky are we? How good is it to feel alive, to feel that life force, to be able to know that we can raise our energy for our purpose, that we can peak our own emotional state when we want to. Because from today, whenever you need to access neutral, you know what to do. And at neutral, you can make the right decisions, take the right actions, and get the best outcome. And then whenever you want to ramp up the feeling of love and joy and pleasure and happiness, clap twice. It's just waiting for you. And know that you can do this at any time. You can reset nightly. You can go to that space, you can clear out the campsite. You can take back that space that's yours. Growth doesn't need to be uncomfortable. We're designed to grow. And in a moment, I'm going to count you back from wherever it is you've been. Or maybe you've just been here all along. I'm going to start that count up now. 1, feeling wonderful. 2, to feel everything you want to achieve in this life and do it with love and joy. 3, feeling the freedom from every negative emotion that's ever held you back. 4, feel the force of that energy and that love flowing through your body and lighting up like light bulbs, popping on one by one. 5, feeling incredibly alive. 6, 7, 8, opening your eyes and feeling absolutely incredible. 9, 10, excellent, you're back. Let's ramp that up right now. And as you slowly become aware of your eyes opening, and you notice now in your body, as your eyes find their focus, feel how quiet things feel, how calm you feel in these last few moments before those eyes begin to focus. And as you're looking at your screen, wonder if it means that your unconscious body has taken on all the learnings to enter this comfortable period of resting and resetting. And I want you to remember that you can return to neutral at any time. And you can ramp it up at any time. And it's not hard to remember. So remember it and use it. Because next time you feel wrung out, cognitively fried, or that your emotions are completely overwhelming you, just take a minute, come back, and come back into the room. Because remember that a feeling plus a meaning is an emotion, but make sure that meaning is yours and not theirs. I can't see the screen at all, so I think there's somebody who's still out. Let me close these blinds. Okie dokie, is everybody back with us?
Not quite.
Marianne? Great, okay. So whenever you feel as though you just want to be like me and scream, just let me buy my freaking yogurt. You've got some powerful tools that will help you remove all the stealthy, subtle stuff that's getting fed to us that our mind is picking up. All the stuff that makes us feel out of whack, all the stuff that makes us feel out of sorts, all the stuff that makes people feel disconnected. Because we're not disconnected beings in any way. Because there's a part of you that's not buying what they're selling. And we've got some new tools today. 1 snap, 2 snaps. So let's use them as therapists. Let's get this generalized anxiety down for everybody. And if anybody feels like they want to, please come off mute and join in with me, because in 1, 2, 3, we're just going to shout, let me buy the freaking yogurt. Are you ready to come off mute? Come on. It can't just be me. There's 7.9 billion people. Come on, guys, off mute. Are you ready to scream? 1, 2, 3.
Let me buy the freaking yogurt.
Thank you, guys.
Well done, Adrienne. Good work. Another great hour there. How are you guys coping with all this hypno back to back? Some of you have been in nearly all day. Good for you.
I double arrowed after Paul. I was like, oh my God. But
All right,
what I
good.
thought I
That
would
was
do
great.
with that is just use straight Freddy, but think how we could use it if people are feeling disconnected, overwhelmed, things like that. So it's just a straight Freddy session. And why not? Why change it?
Yeah.
Good. Well done. Really good stuff. Now, what's the time? It's 1:45, so a little bit early, but let's see. I think we've got Emma up next. Ooh. They're coming after our snacks again. Snack attack.
Can I just ask as well, did anything come up for anybody? Or is it just me? Please tell me it's not just me that goes through all this every day.
Oh, what you mean, just being challenged by life?
How do I feel? Is it me that feels this, if that bad? I mean, even to the point that nowadays they're saying I've got to get up an hour early to achieve what I want. I'm not getting up an hour early. I'm not doing it. When we go to daylight saving time, there's more crashes, there's more violent crime, and the judges also sentence more harshly because people have lost an hour's sleep. So I ain't getting up an hour early to achieve what I need to do in my life. What I need to do is clear out other people's crap and start to accumulate all those little pockets of time in my day and stop beating myself up that I'm a failure. So
No, I feel it too. It's really, really pertinent, I think. And I think also too, like what you said about the fact you've got to do everything yourself. Like if something goes wrong, once upon a time, those of us remember, used to get on the phone and you ring someone up and the receptionist would say, I'll get someone to sort that for you. And 2 hours later or 4 hours later or the next day, someone would ring you back and say, blah, 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 blah. Now you got to get on the computer. You've got to find where it is. You've got to put your little message in there. There's no human to speak to. And you've got to just do it all yourself. And it drives me mad.
Cognitively fried. I feel as though I'm getting socially engineered to have no space left for me. So what can I do about that?
Absolutely.
Good. There's another person that feels like me. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear, Adrian, you've tidied up a lot of shit in my head.
Don't leave your campsite like the end of a festival. No.
I was think that would be so important for the kids, you know, because they are the ones who are going to be the big grown-ups, and they are reacting so much. I was like trying my children to disassociate with the marketing. It was like Lucrozade, whatever we going. I was like, oh mom, look, Lucrozade, Lucrozade. My friend is drinking that and is everything fine. Why are you saying it's wrong? In the sports center, look, it's like Lucrozade. It's a good stuff. Oh my goodness, you know, that one is really, really worries me, you know, like how much children I have that we
And as
understand,
soon
but
as
the
they
children
stop,
don't.
they say they're bored. I was like, how can that even be? You know, my kids are my greatest teachers. Unfortunate, but yeah.
And yeah, you're absolutely right on the fact that, you know, every time you buy something, there's a little thing that pops up that they want to survey you. How did we go? Or, you know, as you said, like you know, you go and buy some yogurt, they want to know how you felt about buying the yogurt.
Didn't
It's
feel
just
anything.
crazy.
Put it in my trolley,
Mm,
walked out. Didn't
yeah.
feel a thing, mate.
And yeah, you've got to just start to say no to all that too, don't you? Because it's
And you
just
feel
like,
bad with the no, and then it's like, oh my god, they're only doing their job, and am I that person? I don't want to be that person. And then you're off in
yeah.
another, you know. And you can't walk about neutral all the time, although we can return to neutral every night now. But yeah, it just
And I
gets.
and I don't know whether this is correct for the males as well, but I think, you know, females are brought up to be pleasing, and it's like, you know, you don't want to do the survey, and then as you said, you can feel guilty about the fact that you don't do the survey because you're thinking, oh, you know, I should be nice and do the survey. Well,
What does it
over
mean?
being nice.
It's but you're just giving away all the time.
Yeah.
Teaching the algorithms how to feel. No, that's a human thing. I'll do that myself. Thanks very much.
Yep. No, it was spot on. It was really well done.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
Mm.
Highlighting the importance of advertising. Hello, I'm just jumping in the middle of nowhere, but I loved the whole thing, by the way. But what it really, it brought up a memory for me about how powerful that evoking an emotion is with advertising a food product. And I didn't know why, but I was training for a fight a few years ago, and I really, really wanted dark chocolate digestive biscuits. Couldn't have them because, well, I probably could have had them, but in moderation. But I couldn't have them in my mind because I had weight to lose and I had to fight and I was going to be disciplined. Didn't know, but obviously subconsciously it went in there. And one of the biggest parts of training to fight for any fighter is deciding their walkout song. And so I almost walked out to the darkness. I believe in a thing called love, but I didn't. And then I don't know when it was, but I went to YouTube, the song, a song, and a dark chocolate digestive advert. I don't know if you remember it, the one with the kittens rolling out of the packet came up. And all of a sudden I was like, that's why I really want dark chocolate digestives. So in that state of thinking about walking out to fight, they threw dark chocolate digestive biscuits at me.
You're switched into this. I think how much of our thinking's not our own. I started on this with let me buy the freaking yogurt because I shout that quite a lot mentally, and hopefully you all do too now. But it was even talking to another therapist, Rowan Ramsey, and he said like even mythical like legends or something, it's a nested loop which we know about. It's part of story 1, 2, 3, and then a product drop, and then part of the second part of story 1, 2, 3, then a product drop, and then the final part of story 1, 2, 3, and then the first advert after that is about a new program that tells you more stories. And I'm like, oh, I can't even watch the telly now.
It's terrible though. You can't do anything without it. And this is where, and we, from the moment we first wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we're on technology, and they're throwing us adverts of things they assume and they know we want. And and then it is, so I get overwhelmed like everyone else. And it is what everything you were saying, I was like, yes, it's me. And I was thinking about even the, like, in the queue, I often check my phone. I use it as a time to quickly save time and go on Facebook quickly. We just know, how often do we actually spend time just being?
The being. They're just the being, and then I dress that up as procrastinating, not getting to the thing. I write my three things down. I don't get to do them, but if I wrote down everything else I did, I'd be overwhelmed with what I do achieve. I don't acknowledge my own achievements within my own time space, and I need to start. I think we all need to start doing it. All need to start just realizing that we're freaking amazing and can buy our own yogurt without emotion. Thank you.
And I think you can start getting paranoid as well. I remember one day I had a conversation with my daughter. It was something about, I don't know, getting the roof done or something on the house. And the next thing I go to my computer and I've got these ads come up about roof restoration or something. And I just thought, I don't even remember Googling that. So it's like, are they listening into me now? And so it just starts getting weirder and weirder, I think.
But we've got some fantastic techniques. We can go and clear the campsite every night. We can put our big bullshit protector round about us. And we can go to a neutral state for our best decisions, that Freddie's gifted us with that one clap, 2 claps. But give it a go and see how you feel.
And don't you think it was a little bit sad that McDonald's is the one that's drawing our attention to the fact that we don't have me time?
Yeah, okay.
Like they're really good, those advertising. They must be, they're definitely using psychology, but they should be paid more.
They know what they're doing. It's like they know the ticket. They know the ticket for this train. They've bought us all a ticket to the train, but we don't know we're on it. That's how I feel. And I watched the first advert. If you notice, everybody's eating singularly and sad and a wee bit on their own. And then the next one, everybody's sharing a laugh while they eat a chicken nugget. That's and even when you drive by the advertising boards, it's like a girl sitting in a car with a burger, me time. I don't need to sit out in my car to have me time, mate. I just don't need to do that, And I certainly wouldn't have a burger in my hand. But thanks, guys. But again, take it, use it, do your thing.
Right, well, I think that was definitely provoked the biggest conversation of the day. So well done, Adrienne.
Thank you.
Obviously resonated with a lot of people. Right, Emma, I can see you're in the blocks, you're fired up, you're ready to go. You're about to steal what's left of our snacks, our binging habits. So good luck. Let's get into it and welcome Emma Greenstein. Would you like to record to your machine?
You
don't have to.
No, I don't.